want the majority of people to go, man, he gave all he could do for Arkansas, and a lot more times on a Sunday morning have the people stick out their chest and go, I'm a Hog, and be happy about it than not. You want to make them proud, and it's not easy to do, but you sure as hell trying to do it, you know.
Can you believe it's year 4?
Nah. I mean, can you believe you're talking to me?
No.
And not somebody else? No, I can't.
I mean, this thing went.
It's gone fast, hasn't it?
Hey, I mean, you had a great career.
Yeah.
You know, and you're a great offensive line coach. You got a great reputation. Here you are in the 4th quarter of your coaching career. Now you're a head coach, and you're going into the 4th year. What happened?
I know, with a pretty good team too. You know, I don't know. You know, I got fortunate. You know, honestly, when I got the job, it was, you know, pretty hard to go down. You know, had a chance to go up, and but then that first year when they put all SEC and they said, oh, by the way, let's take 1, 2, and 3 on the East and give it to Arkansas. I don't know if they was trying to get rid of me the first year or what, but then the schedule the next year was tough. But then that's when we started feeling like, hey, we are Arkansas. And then last year a little bit of disappointment because of the losses for the close games. But we think we're getting that fixed and really have a talented team, and glad to be here, honored to be in my 4th year.
One of 2 coaches in program history to win back-to-back bowl games. You've hit a 9-win mark. That's the most wins in the program's history since 2011.
Yeah.
You've done some good things in 3 years.
We have. I mean, we've done some things that you go, okay, we're heading the right direction. Again, last year we dropped down a little bit. I tell you, as proud as I've been since I've been here, Bo, is when we won the Liberty Bowl. I mean, we had 9 starters out, and we had coaches, you know, who had took other jobs and went over there and found a way to win against a team that was hungry, hadn't been to a bowl in whatever many years that Kansas had, and had a good football team. But our kids just kind of rallied and went back to that all we have is all we need, and physicality and things, and found a way to win it. And that really springboarded us, I think, into into spring, and then helped us recruit some other guys, things of that nature.
You would hope that in year 4, you've had a chance to recruit, kind of build your foundation, things would start getting better. It's not always a straight line to a straight climb, but it seems like that's worked pretty well for you.
It has. You know, the very first class that we signed, I don't think there's but maybe 2 guys left on the team. That was a class that, you know, we came in, we had, 6 days or something to sign before early signing date, and then obviously tried to catch some gems, you know, in the back end. But other than that, you know, I think last year's class was very, very good. The class before that, and we want to sign about 20 if we can out of high school, and then save some rooms for some portal guys, some immediate help. In the future, we'd like to maybe to take that number to 22, 23 in high school, you know, because, you know, surely we'll have a little bit better foundation now, as you just spoke of, than what we did when I first came in.
You've talked about how you like this year's team. What do you like about it?
I like that they like each other. You know, very close-knit team. I think Ben Souders has a lot to do with that. I think their coaching staff has a lot to do with that. I think we got some guys from Division II ball that have a lot to prove, things of that nature. But I like it because we obviously have more depth than we've had in the past. But I just like the kids. I've always liked all the guys, you know, but it's just a little different group. Happy, do what you ask, very coachable, very teachable, hungry. Pretty good group of guys.
Hogs team ready! Hogs team ready! X-time! O-G-L-H.
You always feel like you have a good chance when you got a good quarterback.
Yeah.
You got a returning, experienced SEC quarterback. What are some other things that you like about the makeup of your team?
Well, I like the offensive line as well, staying on that side of the ball. We've got 2 tackles I think are pretty good. They just are pretty young, and they haven't played a lot of ball, but I think they're pretty good, and you got some veterans inside, obviously, with Brady and Bo and Braun and those guys.
What's the O-line room like with you guys? I mean, you two are definitely leaders, but how's everyone else doing, kind of picking everything up?
Yeah, it's you know, we lost a lot of guys last year, and so we've had a good crew in the offensive line room and a lot of really athletic guys who are just waiting to step up, and you know, this is their year. And you know, Dev, Kudus, Braun, the transfer, they've been all doing amazing. There's a lot of other young guys who are really coming along. It's been awesome. We have a lot of fun on the field, but we're pretty intense at the same time. So it's a good room, and the personalities in the room really mix well.
We don't have a position where you're going, oh man, we got to hide those guys, whether it be offense, whether it be defense. Oh man, I hope they don't find that guy.
Yeah.
We don't have any of those guys. You know, we feel like we can compete at every position on every single play, and sometimes we may not have been in that situation in the past, but I feel really strong about that. And then if somebody, you know, we scrimmaged. We scrimmaged twice. Had less injuries in that than we did when we thudded. So I learned a lesson. The old coach is getting a little bit better too. I'm starting to learn some things, but I just really like when the guys walk in the room, they want to play ball. And the coaches, they want to coach ball. It's a great feeling right now. Really proud of the football team. We appreciate you being on time, appreciate you eating. This is all for you. It's not a punishment type deal. It's all about how the hell are we going to win games. Yeah. All right, KJ.
Bring it up, bring it up, bring it up, bring it up, bring it up. Hey, good shit today, bro. Keep stacking good days on good days. Make sure I get in the training room. Take care of y'all bodies and clean up the locker room. Hogs on 3, 1, 2, 3. Hogs.
What have you learned? I mean, you've had a wealth of experience, but you know, being in it and doing it, you're going to get better at anything, right?
I learned that as a leader, you're not going to be liked at times. Live with it. You have to tell the truth all the time. And the consequences come with the consequences. That if you hire good men, good women, I tell you, we're as strong as you can be with the girls with the ladies in our building. I wouldn't trade them for anybody. If you hire good people, ones that don't have egos, you're going to be in pretty good shape. Players the same way. You know, you can't teach a man that's got a big ego anything. A lady, anybody, you can't. They already know it all. And keep all the egos out of the building. If we do that, we have a chance to grow. And I think that's where we're at right now as a program. We got a hell of a group of guys, man. It's so much fun being around you and seeing the new guys, seeing the old guys getting by. I was talking to Tyrus. He got a lot better since then last spring. It's just a lot of fun.
You had some turnover. You lost 2 coordinators. You know, there's been a lot of great continuity.
Yeah.
But that was another challenge for you.
Nightmare for years, bigger than what it really was, but nightmare for years for me. Because I love Barry Odom and Kendall Browse, and I did not want to lose them. They'd done a good job here. But, boy, you want me to be selfish, and Barry's going to go get a head coaching job at UNLV. Kendall has an opportunity to go back home at TCU. And, well, what happens is you're happy for them, but then you've got to go replace them. And, you know, that's some things. We're pretty good at replacing coaches. And we're pretty good in the transfer portal. And we took our time on that, especially on Barry's hire. We took our time because I know we had to get right, you know. Obviously, everybody knows how much I care about Barry. But we got right, and he's going to come in here and do a great job for us. And really, he's a recruiter guy, too, and I knew if we had portal problems that he would go get somebody out of the portal. And then Dan, I'd worked with him before, and he made it pretty simple, you know. But that was my biggest fear, that, you know, because you look at coaches that won the Natty before, and they, you know, obviously their coaches go here, 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 and the next couple of years later they're fired, or 3 years later they're fired. Look, I'm not worried about getting fired. I'm worried about disappointing people. The fired part, people get fired. Now I don't want to. I don't want to disappoint anybody. I don't want to disappoint the people in our building, the state of Arkansas, the university, Hunter Yurchek, you. I don't want to disappoint anybody. The firing part's not, that doesn't drive me.
Yeah.
disappointing people does.
Well, you had such success, you know, really on both sides of the ball with those two coordinators too at times. Travis Williams coming, you know, with the Auburn background, coming, you know, from UCF. What made him the right hire? What's different, maybe? You know, look, Barry's great, but you know, not everybody's the same, right? You can be great in different ways.
Yeah. And you know, you don't want to compare guys because
Right.
Barry did a great job, and then now we're expecting Travis to do a
Yeah.
great job. Obviously, two different people. I interviewed several guys for the D coordinator job. Man, I interviewed some really good guys. And when I got through interviewing Travis, I called Hunter and I said, I got him. That's it. I knew it. Great personality, infectious. You want to be around him and his family. I knew that if we had, in this day and age, you're going to have guys go in the portal. And can we replace them? You know, maybe can we upgrade? And I felt leaving there, I thought, well, he can. You know, he can help us. And then he was talking about some people that he might be able to go get, you know, and I'm going, get him, get this guy, this guy. You know, we might be able to recruit, we may be able to coach. I'd watched Travis's tape at UCF, and he was exactly that type of scheme is what I wanted. I was just trying to figure out the man. And to be honest with you, Bo, the most important thing, he wanted the job. Made no mistake. It wasn't how much I'm gonna make, how much this. It was, Coach, I want to come work with you. I want to come help you. I want to be a part of Arkansas. And that was before the money. And I think Hunter explained that about me. Mine was a little bit easier because I knew I was going to get paid more as head coach at Arkansas than the line coach at Georgia.
Right.
T. Will not necessarily, he probably thought he was going to get paid more, but I really liked that about him, and easy hire at that point.
Well, I know you want this team to be a physical defense, but you also mainly don't want them to be a reactive defense. Can you explain that for everyone?
Yeah, just, you know, a lot of times offenses try to put our backs against the wall with the different formations and different shifts and formation in the boundary and different things. So we try to kind of put a little stress on the offenses by the different things we do defensively, whether it's a pressure or whether it's a different alignment or different things like that. So we want our guys to put stress on the offense.
And talking to him, and really any of the coaches that I get to sit down with, it seems like they have that personality that you have, that you know, that hunger, that desire to make Arkansas what it is, and that grit, and that. And if you haven't been here and you haven't experienced it, it may be hard to understand.
Yeah.
But when you got the job, you embrace that. And I think I told you, I don't know if I'd seen anybody like that since Houston Nutt, and he was from here.
Yeah.
But it seems like you're getting guys that have that same sort of feel.
Yeah, and I think that's the only way you can have success. I mean, if you don't think your wife's the best in the world, you're going to go find you another one. And I mean, it's true. And it's the same thing with a job. If you don't think it's the best in the world, you're going to try to go find you somebody else or some other job. Look, other jobs come. You don't have to go looking for them. But if you think Arkansas is the greatest place in the world, then it's going to be a hard decision for you to leave. It's going to be like Barry had to do and get a head coaching job, you know, or Kendall to go back home, all these things. But we had upgrades of position coaches to coordinators and all that. I want someone that believes that this is the greatest job in the country. I do, and I want them to believe just like I do. Now, it's easy for me. I'm never going anywhere. I said it is. I'm older. This is it. You know, I got my retirement house in Hot Springs. You know, I mean, I got plan A, B, C, D. You know, I got all the plans.
Yeah.
But I'm older. I get it. But a young guy, like I did the first time. Now, I wasn't young, but in 13, I was 10 years younger than I am now. I believe that Arkansas was the greatest job. And I thought I had the best offensive line in the country back then, too. So I'm thinking, if we can have the best offensive line, how come we can't have the best quarterback, best wide receiver, best DB, best linebacker coach, best coordinator, all that? Well, it can happen. And if people start believing that, it gets closer to happening, if that makes sense.
Yeah, wow, how much things have changed since 2013 when you were the line coach here. By the way, before we keep going, let's just take a pause and go into summer for a second. How was the boat? How was Hot Springs? How was Lake Hamilton?
It had me a new boat. Ricky Kesterson, you know, Futrell. You know, we got a little swap out deal. Got done with it. Man, I loved it. It's one of them bow riders, so it sets down in the front.
Okay.
It's a tri-tune, but it sets down in the front. And I said that, and Ricky doesn't pay me a dime, you know, by the way. But and then Brandon Adams bought it, so I'm getting a new one next year. But the lake, I love it. Pool's done, so I don't have to sit out there with my shirt off. I can sit in the water with my, you know, and go like here, so nobody gets, you know, sick or anything looking at me. Yeah. But man, I love it. I love it. Jamie loves it, which honestly is more important than if I do or not.
Yeah. Well, it's fun to see you just, you know, you got to enjoy it a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, it's a grind. Coaching, it's year round, but you always light up when you talk about Hot Springs and your. I mean, you loved it when you weren't here.
I did. I mean, when we were at Georgia, our spring break was Oaklawn and Hot Springs, and we came down, and that's when we bought the lot that originally out there on the main channel. When I came back, sold it, but yeah, we vacationed here on spring break when we were at Georgia every year. Yeah. And I don't know, man. It's Hot Springs. Yeah. Something about it. And I'm a different person down there. I mean, I just am. I'm
just relaxed.
Never get away from the phone. There's always problems. Right. But, you know, the good Lord, I think, I'm pretty good at handling problems. You know, I don't, you know, I was, okay, what's the solution? How are we going to do it? And then, you know, I made my mistakes, obviously, but it doesn't just wear on me forever. You know, and so the phone's always down there. You're always solving some type of problem, but it just feels different on the lake. I mean, it just does. And I don't know. Jamie and I both, we just really love it. And Jamie's proud of her house and all those things. So just a lot of fun.
That's great. Well, you got Dan Enos back to Arkansas. You know, as we talk about the offense a little bit, what's the difference that fans might notice between what Kendall was doing and what Dan has brought back to Arkansas?
I think the first thing you might notice just formationally, you know, we have a more diverse, there's more personnel usage and things of that nature. Now, don't get me wrong, Kendall used the personnel that we had, you know, and did a great job. I think one of 3 times in current day or history, we've had over 6,000 yards, and Dan was a part of it in 15. KB was a part of it last year, and then I think Coach's team, Coach Petrino's team, one of those years. But I think you'll notice that. I think the game will slow down a little bit. We won't be quite as fast-paced all the time. More tight ends on the field, more play action type things, you know, things of that nature. Maybe a little broader schematically, run game-wise, but there'll be some similarities. Like I say, Browse is a really good coach. So is Dan, and I hired him because I'd worked with him, and I thought he was one of the best play callers I'd ever been around.
Really? What do you like about the way he calls plays, or what makes you say he's one of the best play
Prepared.
callers? Yeah.
I mean, it's go time now. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. He's prepared. He's prepared for every situation. He'll have 2 or 3 answers in each situation, and they will have worked it and practiced it against every look that we feel like we're going to get. And he's a very, very detailed guy, and we have a system that we can check in and check out of and things that relates to me a little bit better than the fast-paced system, but you're trying to score points, and we scored plenty of them before, and hopefully now just a different man, different system that we continue to do well.
He's really smart.
Yeah.
He's really smart. They all are. They ask great questions. It's a great room. I think they have, I mentioned this to the guys the other day, they have tremendous amount of respect for one another.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get in a quarterback room and guys are competing,
Yeah.
and sometimes it gets personal at times, and there's maybe an edge in there, if you will, but I don't feel that at all. I feel these guys are all pulling for each other. I feel like they're a very cohesive group.
It happens. It's not like it's the first time a coordinator change has occurred when you have a quarterback that's returning. But were you concerned about that with KJ, and like how did you go about just getting all that where you needed it?
Yeah, I was concerned about it because, you know, basically Kendall's situation when he left was the portal was still open, and I didn't know, KJ was going to graduate, where he was, but I figured he loved Arkansas, and I was right, and wanted to stay and things of that nature. But anytime that there's change, guys panic. And they're going, well, there's change, so I'm going to leave, but that's
Right.
change. But no, I'm not thinking of it that way. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you look at it, the coaches kind of have you too. The players are not the only ones that have you in the portal. The coaches do too, because you're going, well, what if he goes to such and such? My best players from that state, what happens? Do you lose the coach and the player? So portal, there's a lot to be said about that. But I think KJ, it was a great transition for him because now he's understanding pro style offense, how to move protections, understand the mic points, understanding some of these things that not necessarily was bad, but the type of offense we were running wasn't necessarily fit for pro style, which would be his next step. It's easy to lead when it's positive. It's hard to lead when what's coming out of your mouth is negative. And that goes for all of us, me included. But if you want to fix, you better lead in either category. And he certainly has done a good job with both of those. The entire team looks at him as the leader, and he does a really nice job. I think it'll be a big year for him because I think he still thinks he's got a lot to prove, and he does.
What does KJ bring from a leadership standpoint that's maybe evolved for you as far as him and his evolution?
Before I think he was trying to become the leader of the offense, and then he was the leader of the offense, and now he's the main man on the team. I mean, it just kind of, great leaders, again, are guys that aren't trying to win a popularity contest. They're trying to do what's right for the majority. Not for him, but what's right for the majority. And a lot of times that you're disliked because of that. He's become able to become uncomfortable with some of the things that he has to say. And he's done a really good job of doing that.
You talked about that earlier, and that being one of the most difficult things about leadership is
they're not going to like you. It's not a popularity contest. They're not going to like you now.
So when you got here, remember how the program was at the bottom.
Yes, I'm very aware of that.
And it's gotten better, right?
Yeah.
Well, now those fans that were just happy with maybe a little bit better, they want a little bit more now, right? You feel those expectations going higher?
Not any higher than I have on myself. Matter of fact, not close to what I have on myself and on our program. But yeah, I mean, that's a good thing. I mean, people expect you to be, realistic people, not robot Twitter people, real people.
Keyboard gangsters, that's the, we're not worried about that.
Go get a job, do something. Have a life.
Yeah.
Making fun of how much I weigh. Come on, man. Come on. Do something.
Snipers.
Do something else.
Social media snipers.
But no, nobody has a higher expectation. Nobody. The AD, nobody has a higher expectation for what we can do than me. Nobody. Kids can tie me. But so when people are disappointed, you better believe I am too. It's hard to have the same feeling winning than losing. And, I talk to our coaches all the time about it. Man, we just beat whomever. Enjoy it, have fun, And mine fades faster than a loss, and I think we can all remember some losses last year. You're going, come on, man. And so the drive is to make people happy, make the kids happy, make the state happy, and make our athletic director. He didn't want to hire me, make him happy. But other than that, there's fans' expectation is less than mine, I can promise you.
I think you wanted them to have expectations when you came.
Amen.
Yeah.
I want to be happy.
Yeah.
I want to be proud. I want to be able to brag. Yes.
I mean, if you're not doing any good, it's hard to have expectations.
That's right. That's right. And you want that. I mean, I don't have a problem with anything. I mean, I really don't. Here's what I know. If we prepare from Sunday to Saturday and we're prepared, then I can live with any result. If we're not, then I can't live with anything, win or loss. So I become a better Sunday through Friday coach with our coaches and our players, because something could happen out of your control on a Saturday. Something could happen. Ball jumps here, does this, officiate, whatever it may be. But if we're prepared and we go out there and fight, we got a chance to win them all. And that's really all you can ask for now. I'm not saying that in the past that not always in the past since I've been here, that we had the same level of talent to win each Saturday. But now I feel like when we go out on a Saturday, we have a way to win. And because we're going to be prepared to do that too. And we've got good talent. We're just going to try to win one at a time. I know that's coach speak, but that's really what we're doing. If we can, we can win and get better each week. I really like our schedule. I really do.
That schedule is just always so brutal.
Yeah.
It's the SEC and the non-conference isn't necessarily a cakewalk. Of course, every opponent you take seriously, but how do you navigate a schedule like this?
Yeah, I think, in all honesty, I think you're kind of playing yourself. What we haven't done all the time is we haven't played real well against what you might call non-SEC, even the games we won at times, we've been behind in the third or something and then end up winning by 21 or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yep.
We've got to, especially now with the coordinators and all this, I like how our season's set up, but we got to play ourselves. We've got to be the best us, and I know that's cliche-ish, but I think this year more than any, we got to figure out who we are, what we can do as the season keeps coming, what we can do better, what we need to cut out, what we need to add. And I like how the schedule sets up. I know everybody's talking about the middle of it, and being gone all the time, but if we get to 3-0, whatever, we'll run that stretch and be just fine. But we got to get to 1-0 here, and I like our football team.
It's weird. I don't know that you've ever played LSU that early in the schedule.
Usually
you
we
just
play them
kinda
after they play Alabama.
Yeah, you see some different things like
or
that.
late.
Yeah.
Way late.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different. And then, of course, next year it's going to really change up,
Yeah.
All that stuff. But, to open up at LSU, different, but you got to play them sometime.
Do you have the same feeling when you run out the A?
Yeah.
Has it changed at all?
Always grateful. Always grateful. There's always times, Bo, when I'm around somebody, or just like we were at the pep rally not too long ago, the freshmen came in, they treat me like somebody I'm not and all this. You go walking down here, go in a restaurant, do this, and you roll up and somebody go, oh my God, and I'm like, they really like you, Jamie. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you told me one time, it might have been last year, you go, man, can you believe all these people want to talk to me? I go, you're the head coach at Arkansas. I mean, you still kind of pinch yourself sometimes, don't you?
Oh, yeah. And then you think kind of, I've had so many young girls come up and want a selfie, and my grandpa just loves you, I'm going, man, I am old. But no, it's a lot of fun, and like I say, Arkansas has treated me like somebody I'm not for so long. And that's driving, though, Bo. It's driving. You want to make them happy, man. You want to make them proud, and it's not easy to do, but you're sure as hell trying to do it,
What would you consider to be success this season?
Be in the race. I mean, be in the West race. I want to bring them trophies back. Win every game we're supposed to, that we're favored to win, and then go steal a few. And then a lot more times on a Sunday morning have the people stick out their chest and go, I'm a hog, and be happy about it than not. And after that, we'll see what happens. But we got a pretty good team. I just want to play as good as we can play. And if we do that, I think the results will be pretty good.
I've asked you this before. I'll ask you again. So when your time here is done, whenever that is, how do you hope people remember Sam Pittman's time as the head coach at Arkansas?
Oh, as a guy that loved Arkansas, you know, that worked hard, that respected the Hog, respected the title. And I want that because I'm gonna live forever in the state of Arkansas, you know, so I don't want to walk around people go, man, you suck, you know, all that kind of stuff. You know, I want to go, man, I want everybody, and you can't please everybody, I get that, but I want the majority of people to go, man, he gave all he could do for Arkansas, and hopefully the day I decide to leave, that it's in great shape, and that whomever the AD, if Hunter's still here, I mean, I don't know how long I don't know how long I'm gonna be here, but that he's able to go hire somebody besides the O-line coach from Georgia, you know, that he can go get somebody that has done it before and not take a chance on somebody else. And if that's the case, well then we've done pretty good.